All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Okafor. And good morning, Philip. Okay, there's this song that says, after the reggae, play the blues.
What if they're not allowed reggae to play? So where will the blues come from? What will you play? That's where we are.
That's where we are.
Yes.
But the reggae played on Saturday in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Kano, where they have election, where INEC conducted election for elective offices. Now, what came out of it? Atiku Abubakar and some other opposition are speaking and said that this democracy is being stiffened. We can see so many things that we can say we are at a brink. If care is not taken, we might just fall off the cliff. Okafor.
Yeah, I think it's high time they go beyond speaking. Yes, speaking is part of it. Speaking is just the beginning, and with time is running against us because it is insensitive and I wouldn't say inconsequential, because there are consequences for doing even a wrong thing. You know, for us to budget trillions of naira for INEC, you know, and at the end of the day, what they give us doesn't really make sense. You know, the people contesting the election, I've always said, are Nigerians. The people voting for them are Nigerians. Whoever they choose to elect should be allowed to govern. You know, have you seen the result sheet uploaded on the IRF? Let me tell you, the impunity with which INEC is operating now is the problem. Let's just say the politicians want to do their thing, but that is why we have independent National Electoral Commission. That is why we have INEC not to allow that. Look at too many results. Let me just show you one. Let me just show you. Yeah. This same thing done in favor of APC could have as well been done in favor of ADC or in favor of LP or in favor of PDP. So it's more of INEC. This is from EC8A. You know, from Koronko Primary Healthcare. This is from Kwale local government area. You see, look at them. Look at what is it called? APC is called 1,202. But look at what is interesting.
That's according to the result.
According to the final result. After editing and cleaning and cancelling and all that. But hold on.
Yeah.
Registered voters here is 345. You understand? Total number of accredited voters 213. Total number of ballots issued 213. Total number of unused ballots 132. Spoiled ballot nil. Rejected ballots 2. Total vote cast 213. Total valid vote 211. APC scored 212, and this is uploaded. The council, the cancellation. You know,
okay, you are putting it on the screen. Put it back on the screen. Let us see.
So this is impunity that can anger the people.
Now, Okafor,
it can anger. It's not about Atiku talking, Peter Obi talking, Amaechi talking.
Yes.
These kind of things can tumble this nation.
Okafor, I don't think all our listeners understand you very perfectly.
Yes.
The number of voters registered, how many?
345.
345.
Yes.
Accredited voters?
213.
APC scored what?
1,212.
Okay,
how?
1,212.
And this is not come to me. No, this is not a matter where I'm going.
Yeah,
it's not a matter of APC.
Yeah, it's a matter of
INEC. Any other party could have also done this.
Okay, INEC has,
and there are too many other sheets, too many of them.
Okay, hold on. INEC have the number of registered voters,
yes,
which is 300 and some
45.
But what was now scored by the winning party was 1,212.
How?
So where did the other fraction?
And this was signed by Johanna Hanatu.
An INEC official?
Presiding, of course, his name of presiding officer is a representative of INEC, whether ad hoc or permanent or whatever, is working for INEC. So when we see things like this, we begin to ask, is this what we budgeted for? You want to you want to throw this country into a chaos? What are you planning to do? All
right, let me come.
That is the question.
Okafor, what you just showed us just now, we'll put it on the screen. Accredited voters, registered voters, 300 and something. people that voted 211 thereabout. The winning party, we're not particular about a particular party.
Exactly.
We're just particular
It could be any
about
other party.
exactly. But the winning party scored 1,200 and something. I mean, a wide margin. Where did the ghost voters come from?
I'll tell you where the ghost voting come from. You know, prior to the election, Friday, the 20th day of February 2026, the FCT minister, the person of Sir Nyesom Wike, declared that movement should be restricted from 8 p.m. on Friday evening to 6 p.m. on Saturday. Not only that, he declared Friday to be work-free day. Now, what does that portend to? That is one. I'm trying to tell you where the additional 1,000 plus vote came from, because in that election, PDP, APC, Labour Party, they also score votes out of this 2013 accredited vote from the 345 registered voter, and out of this 213 vote, 2 were invalid. Okay. Yet the winning party, the ruling party, scored 1,212 votes. On the day of election in Abuja, a civilized city, we had the armies and the police and all security agencies on rampage. EFCC said they were everywhere to checkmate vote buying. But here in Kuje, an APC agent said buying of vote has become a cultural thing in Africa, and that you cannot kill culture. That vote buying is part of the system. In other words, that's what he's saying. When he was questioned, because when you are talking about the vote, this particular result we are talking about, it has to do with Kwali. But don't forget, in Kuje local government or Kuje area council, it was APC that complained of over voting. They won the election, and the same APC also alleged that the election was free and fair, and he even went further to say this is the most peaceful election he has ever witnessed in Ikuje. So where does the vote came from? The vote came from the fact that the people were meant not to be part of the election, so that those who want to select those they want to be area council chairman had a free day to do their selection. Don't forget the FCT minister on his I don't know where he derived that power from.
Oh, hold on, I'll come to you on that. I'll come to you on that. Now, Okafor, he was just about talking about the FCT minister, but I want to begin for pre-election. The FCT minister, in the ears of everybody, told us that if you don't vote for us, we will not do development in your area. What impunity? That's one. What complacency of the opposition that don't take these people that speak recklessly on issues that they are supposed to take them on.
That is why I said the opposition, they have to do something different from what they are doing. Why not encouraging them to, be
violent?
Be violent. They have to do beyond talking. And you see, when you see a result sheet like this, I expect the opposition, not in line with the Islamic Council asking Amopito to resign. Because I don't think Amopito should resign simply because he's a Christian, or because he made his own voices heard about what he thinks about Christian genocide or not. That is his personal position on a particular matter, which also came from failure of government to provide security for everybody. But for the purpose of this, it's enough for the INEC chairman to resign. Is it where we are headed? So, but you're not going to find the opposition putting themselves together and paying a visit to INEC office, demanding that Amopito come out to explain. There are a bunch of all this go to IREV for the fact that they have the effrontery to upload this in on IREV, knowing that we will have access to it. It's I don't know how to describe it. The audacity is beyond limits. I expect opposition to put themselves together beyond whoever that is contesting, Peter Obi, Atiku, Amaechi, Erufai, whoever, put themselves together, whichever party, Possibly, like I said, even APC should be part of it, because this is not APC problem per se in the face of it. It is INEC problem. We are supposed to have an agency that is independent. This particular sheet favors APC. It could favor LP or ADC or SDP, anywhere they are also in majority, once the system is not foolproof. So they should come out, pay a visit to Amupiton, to actually tell them why this thing should not be withdrawn.
About the campaign comments,
Let me tell you,
that are reckless.
let me tell you, those campaign comments are not challenged because there is no formidable opposition. Also, let me tell you, I kept saying, Nigerians' level of education is not what you think it is. Education doesn't mean secondary school, university, or whatever. Enlightenment. They begin to think that Wike is the owner of the money. They begin to think that when Wike says, I will do this, it is his own personal whatever. They do not even hold Wike accountable for the fact that Wike should see himself privileged to be the one that is determining the direction and the use of our money.
Now, you were trying to talk about how Wike, that's the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, was moving about, conducting what? Is he an INEC official?
That's what the point I was making.
Yes.
I don't know where he derived his powers from, because he's just like every other federal minister. He's not a governor. He's not a mayor of FBS.
No, even if you're a governor on election day,
So
you don't vote and go.
Azumi is the governor, because I was privileged to monitor an election or be part of an election that produced Okowa as the governorship candidate of PDP in 2014, that produced him as a governor in 2015. In that primary, I tell you, you have no other way to define that. You have no other way to define that. What we are having is an INEC problem, not a political party.